Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of our Infill series. Now this series is something that we've been getting a lot of requests from. People wanting to know the ins and outs of infill houses. Now if you go through all the way to the end of this series, you're going to distinguish the difference between a good quality infill home and a home that might have issues and you could be bleeding money from. And if you stick all the way to the end, you're gonna know my tips on what I look out for, which will make all the difference when it comes time to choosing the right home for your family. So in this first episode, before we start talking about tactics and strategies, I'm gonna give you the big picture. Infill houses, what are they? Where can you typically find them? And I'll talk about specific areas in the Calgary market since I'm here in Calgary. What types of infills are there? And the pros and cons of buying an infill home. In later episodes, I'm gonna be talking about things like pricing for each type of home, what it looks like to build a home, what infill homes look like if you were in the eyes of an investor, what kinds of lots make good infill homes, and of course, I'm gonna give you a tour on infills. So if you don't wanna miss out on future episodes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified when they do come out. And for future reference, because we're gonna be going through a ton of information, hit that save button so you can always come back and refer to this episode. Let's get started. So what is an infill house? Well, it's a development of a new home on an existing lot, usually in established or older neighborhoods. What types of infills are there? Well, there's a few. There's a single family home, which is one house in one structure, and then there's the semi-detached or duplex style, so one building, but they're usually 2 units side by side. There's townhomes, in other words, row housing, and typically you'll find these where there's 4 units in one structure, and then there's condos if developer buys multiple lots together and builds, and then there are mixed use, so maybe something like there's development on the main floor, such as retail, and then there is residential on top. So here in Calgary, where I am, single family homes, they range anywhere from 1,600 square feet all the way to 6,000. Now you can find them a little bit smaller than that, but it's more on the rare side. You can find different styles, such as bungalows, 2 stories, 2.5, 3 stories, and you can sometimes find them if it's zoned in the right area, or if they ask for redesignation for the zoning, then you can actually build a carriage suite, which is a separate living space on top of the detached garage. Or you could have a legalized basement suite. Most of the infills that you find here in Calgary will have a developed basement. A home that is for sale. This is a bungalow. And you can see that it is a new infill. And if we take a look across the street, that is a single family home, a structure on its own. Next are the duplexes. Well, duplexes, they range anywhere from 1,300 square feet to about 3,000. And you can find the same style of homes in single family homes as you can in duplexes. So bungalow, 2 all the way to 3 stories, legalized basement suite developed, as well as a carriage house on top of the detached garage. Now, if you want to see a tour of a net zero home infill that I did with my partner Jazz, feel free to check out that link up atop or in the description below. For townhomes or row housing, they're typically found in the inner city on corner lots on main roads. And this is where I'm standing right now. I'm gonna show you a townhouse, and the backyard space typically isn't very big. You can maybe fit a couch back there, but not a dining table or dining set and a couch. The good thing is you do get one parking stall, which is usually a garage that is separated from the rest of the stalls. And here is an example. So right now I'm in Banff Trail in the Northwest. This is Morley Trail right now, right here. It is one of the main arteries in the community. And this development happened about 2 years ago. And you can see that it is developed with 4 units. And I'm going to show you the garage. So that is just the entrance to your single garage, detached garage. You also have access to the backyard back there. So everyone gets their own garage space. All right, so here is a side-by-side duplex or a semi-detached. This one's actually listed by one of my colleagues, Caroline at Redline. And this is kind of what your typical duplex infill looks like. So there's 2 units separated by a party wall, which is evidenced by that wall right there inside. So where can you typically find infills? Well, you can typically find them in older neighborhoods that have maybe been rental communities for a long time, where they're starting to turn around and builders are more attracted because of the land value. It's a little bit lower cost of acquisition. And also other communities where the homes are close to the end or the last cycle of their economic life. In Calgary, you'll find most of these infills in the city center, or what we call the inner city. And what I'm gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna include a downloadable map of Calgary communities down below in the link. So make sure you hit that link and you'll be able to see all the communities. And they're usually in communities where it's a little bit older, where they have, 1950s, 1960s, single level bungalows. Kind of like this one. So we're here in Banff Trail, and this is a typical looking bungalow. Actually, it's a very nice looking bungalow. Obviously that one's been cared for. And these are the older style bungalows that you'll see. And here are some other styles of duplexes in the area. All right, let's talk about the pros and cons of living in an infill. The pros. The first pro is higher density. With a higher density comes more people, and more people attracts more businesses. So you'll find more local coffee shops, restaurants, and ice cream shops. And who doesn't love ice cream? The second is, along with amenities, is desirability. Now, because it attracts more people to the area and the community, it becomes more desirable. So people want to live in an area where there's more infills. So it increases land value, because not only are people competing with other homeowners to live in the area, but they're also competing with builders, and all of that drives up land costs. There's also additional tax revenue from the city, because now they can charge more property taxes, and all of this money can go towards infrastructure infrastructure, such as roads, signs, parks, and things like that. The second biggest pro is utilization. So this means getting rid of old homes that might have functional obsolescence. And functional obsolescence is the decrease in value of a property due to maybe a feature or a design that is no longer desirable anymore. So for example, maybe you have an old bungalow with 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. Well, people would want 2 bathrooms now. So properties with 1 bath and 3 bedrooms just aren't as desirable. Smaller homes will make way for bigger homes to be able to have more family members in one household, and floor plans that will fit the modern family. This might include having a legal suite in the basement. It could serve as a multi-generational home. And lastly, having a brand new home obviously increases the economic life of a home. So you're using the same land, but you're putting a new home on there, which should last an extra 60, 80 years or so. Now let's talk about the cons of having an infill. For one, it's typically more expensive than something that you would get maybe in the suburbs, and it could be smaller as well. There's typically more traffic and congestion in the community because as single family dwellings where there's supposed to be 1 family, they could become 2 or even 4 in the example of a townhome. It could result in having more cars on the street, even though most of these infills, I mean, all of them will have a detached garage, but some people like to park out in the front. And you do lose the old charm of the neighborhood as these older homes get demolished or moved and making way for new homes. So guys, was that helpful? Hopefully that's given you some valuable information on infills, or at least the basics of them. And if you have any questions or have any other pros or cons that maybe I haven't covered, feel free to throw it in the comments below. And don't forget guys, this is only episode 1 in this infill series. So if you like this video and you don't want to miss out on the next video where we cover pricing, whether or not it makes a good investment, how to finance one, make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when those episodes come out. And if you've enjoyed watching this video, please hit that like button so that it gets shown to more people that are looking for infills. And lastly, we do have the downloadable map in the description for Calgary communities, and you can see all the communities in the city center, or what we call here the inner city. My name is Felix Chan with the LiveInnerCity Real Estate team, helping you keep real estate simple. And we'll see you in the next episode.